The war is intensifying. Russia and Ukraine both unleashing deadly strikes. Ukraine has launched deep drone strikes into Russian territory. Russia is targeting Ukraine with missiles, drones. In Sumy, a Russian drone struck a bakery where traditional Easter cakes were being prepared. In Kharkiv, a Russian missile killed one and injured 82 others. While Russia may have initiated the attack, the question that we are asking tonight is, did China provide the metaphorical gun? And we're asking that question because of a big claim made by the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. What has he said? Zelensky has accused China of fueling Russia's war machine. He has said that China has been secretly arming the Russians against Ukraine. You heard that right. What does Beijing have to say to that? A categorical no. So who's lying? What's going on? Is it China? Is it Ukraine? Remember, just last week we reported that Ukraine had reportedly arrested Chinese nationals fighting for the Russian army. Remember, in the 3 years of the war, China has denied supporting its close ally Russia in the Ukraine war and has even proposed a plan to end the war. Could there be any merit to Zelensky's allegations is the immediate question. Let's just try and unpack this for you. On Thursday, during an explosive news conference, Zelensky told reporters that Ukraine has intelligence indicating that China is supplying artillery and gunpowder to Russia. However, he did not clarify whether he was referring to artillery systems or ammunition.
I think it's important information. It's not very pleasant. We finally received information that China is supplying weapons to the Russian Federation, and we are ready to talk about it in detail. Today, we have general information from the security service, from intelligence about gunpowder, artillery.
Now, these allegations are likely to strain ties between Kiev and Beijing. They are already tense due to Ukraine's revelation about the arrest of Chinese nationals fighting for Russia. Remember, China officially maintains a neutral stance throughout the 3-year war. And previously, Ukraine has appealed to China to use its influence over Russia to promote peace. Well, after Zelensky's allegations, China has dismissed the claims as political manipulation. You have to listen to this.
China's position on the Ukrainian issue has always been clear, and it has been actively committed to stopping the war and ceasefire and promoting peace talks. China has never provided lethal weapons to any party in the conflict and has strictly controlled dual-use military and civilian items. Ukraine is very clear about this and has publicly stated that most of the parts and components of the weapons imported by Russia come from the United States and other Western countries. China firmly opposes groundless accusations and political manipulation.
Now, it is a fact that Russia and China have been strengthening their defense ties ever since they declared a no-limits partnership in February 2022. That was when the Russian President Vladimir Putin visited Beijing less than 3 weeks before the Ukraine war started. Also, in the past 3 years, the US has repeatedly accused China of supporting Russia's war efforts in Ukraine by supplying so-called dual-use goods, including microelectronics that could help make weapons. But China has maintained that it has not provided weaponry to any party, and that normal trade with Russia should not be interrupted or restricted. So then what really should one make of Zelensky's claims? It's hard to tell. What he has done, though, is impose sanctions on 3 Chinese companies today. The list of sanctioned companies, including Russian companies named Beijing Aviation and Aerospace Jiangui Technology Company Limited, Ruijin Machinery Company Limited, and Zhongfu Shenying Carbon Fiber Shining Company Limited, all described as registered in China. It did not give out details of why they had been added to the sanctions list, which bans companies from doing business in Ukraine and freezes their assets there. And Ukraine exported $8 billion of goods to China in 2021, mostly raw materials and agricultural products, while it imported from China just under $11 billion, mainly in manufactured goods, according to the Ukrainian government. What we also know is that China has proposed to end the war. In fact, in 2023, following several meetings between Chinese and Russian officials, China released a 12-point peace plan to end the Ukraine war. It covered basic points like respecting the sovereignty of all countries, ending hostilities, protecting civilians, prisoners of war, promoting post-conflict reconstruction. Most importantly, it opposed the threat or proliferation of chemical, biological and nuclear weapons. It came to nothing, but not for the lack of trying. So then the question is, what would China get out of supporting Russia's war efforts? It's clear that China aims to present itself as a future peace broker, and hard to buy considering what's doing around Taiwan. Still, if what Zelensky is saying is true, it would actually change things as far as the conflict in Europe is concerned. And Zelensky has promised to reveal more next week. Needless to say, we will be watching those developments very closely. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.